Howdy folks, it's the Aspie Cowboy here, and today I'm taking you on a very exciting trip. I'm taking you to my dream job, and this is going to be really fun because it has been over 8 years since I've been announcing at Meijer, and I was actually going to make this video a couple weeks ago. Officially, it was that the first time I made an announcement at Meijer was, I think, a couple days after 4th of July, so I was going to make it on that week after the 4th. But things were, really hectic that week. There was a lot going on. Actually, I guess I should say the past few weeks have been kind of hectic around here. So I wasn't able to make that video, but I wanted to make it now. It's, it's a few weeks later, but it's not too big a deal. But I thought it was a really special idea because, it's been 8 years of making announcements at this grocery store, or I guess I should say supermarket. But yeah, it's been quite an experience, quite a journey for me, and it's helped me in so many ways, which I'll be explaining very shortly. So yes, stay tuned. We'll be going to Meijer. You'll get to hear me do an announcement. You'll get to see my routine, how it all works for me, or how I do it. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. So saddle up, folks, and we'll see y'all in just a second. So I'm here at the store, and one of my biggest routines is I always have to check the aisles, make sure there's no one in them, because I've had some awkward encounters with people staring at me when I'm in the middle of an announcement, so it's been kind of weird and creepy in a way. So I always have to make sure the aisles are clear, and it looks like they are, so we're about to do an announcement. Another reason why I like to do my announcements without people nearby is because it makes it quieter, so I don't have to have as many distractions. If there's a loud kid or people talking or laughing, it kind of distracts me, so I like to have it when it's quiet in a better area. That's how I like to do it. So that's my routine.
Good afternoon, Meijer shoppers. Be sure to pick up a Meijer flyer located at both entrances to the store. You will find great deals and savings inside. Thank you for shopping at Meijer, and have a great day, everyone.
All right, well, you got to hear my announcement. I hope you liked it. I hope I did a good enough job for y'all. So yeah, I was at first wanting to do an announcement right where I was showing my face and talking, but I've done that in the past, and unfortunately, the audio gets weird because you're hearing my voice plus the intercom's, sound, my voice on the intercom. So it gets all tangled and you probably can't really hear it. It's kind of weird. So I just had my dad record it. Shout out to my dad, of course. He just recorded it while I went to another area and did my announcement. So yeah, and it's ironic because earlier in the video I said, I always try to make sure that there aren't any people around so people don't stare at me when I'm in the middle of an announcement. And unfortunately, that happened. I was in the middle of my announcement halfway, and I could hear someone coming up from behind me. And yeah, I didn't think he was going to be there. I didn't see anyone there, but sadly, he came behind me, and I looked back, and he just stared at me. It's weird. People are different sometimes. I guess they don't understand. But yeah, thanks for watching. And my dad's right getting in, so we'll see you at the house.
Attention, Meijer shoppers. I would like to thank you all for shopping at your local Meijer. Hope you all have a great shopping experience. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you all so much.
Okay, so it seems like you got an extra bonus announcement because we just ordered our food for lunch, or well, it's lunch for me. I guess it's dinner for my dad. It's pretty late in the day. So you just heard me do another announcement. It was outside. They have an outdoor speaker, so you got to hear me do a second announcement. That wasn't planned. We weren't planning for that, but you got to hear it. So 2 announcements in 1 video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed seeing me at Meijer and getting to hear my announcement and see how I do my job every day. So it's a lot of fun. It's been quite an exciting time these past 8 years. I can't believe, 2018's been 8 years ago. It was definitely the best year of my life for so many reasons. And me starting announcing at Meijer was definitely one of the big ones for sure. So I kind of wanted to take this part of the video and talk about my public speaking and how I got into that and kind of expand upon it. So yeah, this is just gonna be me talking for the rest of the video. So I hope you I hope it's informative to some of you. I'll also be talking a little bit about how some of my tips of what I would recommend if you struggle with public speaking. This is how I do it, or basically, this is what I would recommend. So at first I got started public speaking, I guess, was when I was like very young. I think a year old or so. I can't remember exactly. I don't remember any of it. But my dad was friends with a radio host in Nashville, and he I think he let us on the radio a couple times. I think I remember my dad told me that I played the xylophone and I just said some random stuff. I honestly can't remember any of that. And so I think that was the first time I was exposed to the microphone, and of course I don't remember any of it, but I guess it stuck with me because when I got older, as I got older, I still kind of had an interest in microphones and public speaking. When I was in school, they had you do like in my class, every day they'd have a couple kids from the class go up to the office and do like the Pledge of Allegiance, the Citizenship Pledge, I think they called it. And so that was always a lot of fun. I remember my dad actually came to listen to me do that one time. That was a lot of fun. And I think the first time I really had a major interest in it, like really having a really idea to really want to announce or do some public speaking, was when I'd go shopping and stuff, and of course, you'd hear people announce on the intercom like I do now, which is funny to look back on. It really is, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But when I was a kid, I'd always hear people on the intercom and stuff. I'd think, man, that would be such a cool, fun thing to do, like, I just thought, I remember on the rides home from shopping, and I remember just sitting and thinking, man, how cool would it be if I was an employee at a store and I could just talk on the intercom all day, which is exactly what I could do now, so it's really funny. But the first time I got to talk on an intercom at a store was at a Food Lion in Fairview, where, my hometown. Actually, we passed by where it used to be in my Fairview video where I drive through my hometown, and I actually mentioned the Food Lion. Of course, it's not there anymore. But yeah, so that was really cool. We went to the Food Lion there one time. We asked the manager or a worker, I can't remember, I was too young, and they asked if I could just say some things on there, and they let me, so that was a lot of fun. And so I just remember, getting older and older, becoming a teenager, and just having more interest in public speaking, and having that, like, that's what I wanted to do. I just realized that was something I wanted to pursue. And it wasn't until the 2010s when I actually got to start working on that. I think it was about 2016 or 2017 where I got to I got involved with Mimi's mission, and Lisa has been an amazing person to work with. She's an amazing person. I highly recommend going to Mimi's mission, to her page or website, because she does so much great stuff for people on the spectrum. She's helped so many families, and even me. She's helped me accomplish my dream of announcing at a sports game, a major league sports game. I don't know if I'll talk about it in this video. I already talked about it in a previous video when I talked about announcing at the Pistons, but yeah, she's a great person. So it wasn't until around then, the 2010s, when I actually started to get involved in that stuff, where I got to go to different events, and she let me speak with her, talk about autism and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. Sadly, we don't get to do that as much anymore, but when it does happen, it's a lot of fun, and I always look forward to it. And so it wasn't until 2018 when me and, we always shopped at Meijer even before I started announcing there, but then one day we were shopping at Meijer in 2018, and I always just listen to music when I shop, so I was listening to music. But my dad, when we got back in the car, my dad told me, he heard someone on the intercom making announcements about something. I can't remember what it was. It was so long ago, but he says, well, maybe you could do that. So the next time we went to Meijer, he went and talked to the manager about it, or he wasn't the main manager, but he was one of the managers in the store. So he talked to him about, that I want to do this kind of stuff, and he really loved the idea of of me doing that. So he was really, I'd say he became a really good friend. He was really nice. And so, he liked the idea of me doing that. We went and met him. We met the actual store manager. He liked the idea. So they let me come in and make announcements every now and then. And it just grew, and I kept doing it over and over again. And now I can do it pretty much any day I want. So I could just walk in the store, make announcements, have fun. I could, if I really wanted to, I could go from the morning to night if I really wanted to, although that would probably be too much for me. But, it's just such an amazing experience to get to do something that I've been dreaming to do ever since I was a kid, and to now be at the point where I could just walk into the store anytime, any day, and just walk in, make as many announcements as I want. It's so much fun. It's been an amazing opportunity. I'm so thankful that we had great people who work there. All the people that we've met there, all the managers and employees have been really nice and friendly towards us, and they've treated us with a lot of respect and care. So we really appreciate that. It means so much. There was actually one manager, one of the managers back during COVID who was there, and she actually ended up moving to Tennessee. So I actually wrote her a letter. You know, she was always so nice to us. So I just wrote her a letter and saying congratulations on moving back down to Tennessee and all that. So I thought that was really cool. They've just been so nice, so caring towards us, and I'm really thankful and appreciative that we have great people around here that care. You know, I mean, to them it's just letting some guy make, you know, friendly announcements on the intercom. To them it's probably not a big deal, but to me it's my world. You know, this is what I live for, kind of thing. You know, like, this is my passion. And unfortunately, getting public speaking jobs has been very hard lately. You know, I had a couple, like the parades and stuff, but sadly things did not pan out for that. But it's been very hard to get public speaking gigs for me. I've tried, I've emailed people, called people, did posters and flyers, haven't gotten much. Actually, I haven't gotten anything, but the fact that throughout these 8 years, I've been consistently being able to go into Meyer at least once or once or a couple times a week, and now I go pretty much every day or every other day usually. It's just been amazing that I've been able to keep up my practice, keep up my public speaking skills, because, you know, if I had to wait like one public speaking gig a year, then I'd get rusty, you know, get tough. So the fact that I've been able to keep practicing, keep up my skills, and still get to enjoy doing a passion, it really is so rewarding. It's the best feeling ever. You know, I can't really describe it, but it's been a great experience for me. You know, if you have something that you love or that you're passionate for, then it's probably the same feeling, you know, that you just want to keep doing it over and over again, you know. So it's a lot of fun. And as for tips or advice I could give you, if you're a public speaker, because I know public speaking is one of the biggest fears that a lot of people have. The idea of talking to a crowd or getting on a microphone is like scary to a lot of people. I've read online, people were asking for advice about, like, oh, I work at a grocery store and I have to use the intercom. How do I do this and that? Of course, those posts are so old now that, you know, I can't really respond to them. But, you know, my suggestion would be to, if you're getting on an intercom, or if you're, you know, however you do it, I don't know, it depends on, you know, it doesn't really matter too much, but the way I do it is when I'm up there, I basically just talk to a friend, in a sense, you know, and that's how I see it, you know, and I just think of it as, you know, I'm just talking to a friend. You know, these people might not know me or know anything about me, really. Like at Meyer, you know, people don't even see me, right? I'm just in an aisle just making an announcement. But to me, it's like, I just don't, you know, nowadays I do it so easy, you know, it's so quick and easy. I do it without even thinking about it. A lot of times it doesn't even dawn on me that I just talked to like a whole store full of a few hundred people. Like, a lot of times I'll be just in my room doing something, and all of a sudden I'll be like, holy cow, I just announced to a whole store full of hundreds of people. Like, you know, like it doesn't really dawn on me in the moment. I'm just like, I just feel like I'm talking to a friend. And that was a piece of advice that I heard on a show called Better Call Saul. There was an episode where they were filming a commercial, and the Saul character, if you've seen Breaking Bad and all that stuff, that's one of my favorite shows. But yeah, he tells the guy who was in the commercial, who was filming, because he was kind of nervous, he tells him to just look at the camera and imagine that you're talking to a friend and that you're just having a casual conversation, pretend the camera's not there. And that would basically be my advice, you know. And I know it's different for everyone. People can't just magically, you know, everyone has their own things, you know. It's not always easy for everyone. I understand that, but that would be my advice. When I started announcing at Meyer, I remember there was an aisle where I did the announcements usually, and in that aisle there was a product, I can't remember what it was, but there was a product that had a dog on it. And I remember every time I would make an announcement, I would look at the dog for a couple seconds, and then I would just imagine my dog Mark, who you'll see in just a few seconds, of course, or in a couple minutes or whatever. And so I would always imagine Mark. So before I did an announcement, I would just close my eyes for a second and I would just think of Mark, you know. And I would just think, yep, you know, it's just a regular day, make an announcement. But like I said, nowadays I just walk into the store, make announcements as if it's nothing, as if I'm just talking to a random person. Like I said, it's not until later in the day I'm like, oh wow, I just did that, you know. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's pretty funny. So that would be my advice. Just, you know, if you have to do some kind of public speaking for your job or whatever, just, I don't know, just pretend like you're talking to a friend. If there's people staring at you, I don't know, just pretend like all those people are your friends, you know. We're all human beings. We're all, you know, we're all your friends anyhow. So, but that would probably be my advice. I don't know, I hope it helps in some way, and I hope it's informative to a lot of you all. So, I don't know if there's many autistic public speakers out there. You know, I know there's some influencers and stuff, but me personally, I've found myself lately been really interested in public address work. Like, I've been announcing at different games. Back during the winter, I announced at some of the hockey games. I've announced at basketball games. Of course, I announced at the Pistons. So lately, I'd say my main part of public speaking that I like the most is public address, like announcing at games or like I do at the store. You know, I almost consider getting a job at a school so I could be an announcer at a school. Of course, I don't know if they hire someone just to be an announcer. I don't know, but that would be cool. I wouldn't mind doing that. You know, anything that involves microphones, I don't have no problem with that. So yeah, so that's I think that's pretty much going to be it for this part of the video, and we're going to be showing you a special guest here in just a second. So I hope you found it informative. If you want to if you have any questions for me, like if there's anything specific you want to know about the public speaking world, feel free to ask me in the comments. You know, I'd really appreciate any feedback. If you like the video and what else you'd like to see from me, just give me some feedback. I'd really appreciate it. You can like it or subscribe, but only if you like it, of course, you know. But thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot, and hope you all have a great day. We'll just see you in just a quick second. Look who we have here, Mr. Mark, the Fuddrucker. Hey boy, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course we have to end it off with him, right? Hey, sit, Mark. Come on, sit. Sit. Gotta get you in the video. Yeah, of course we gotta end it off with him. Yeah. How you doing, boy? How y'all doing? Yeah. Yeah, say hi, Mark. Say hi to the camera. Alright, sit, Mark. Sit. That's a good boy. That's a good boy, yeah. Yep, this is Mark, my Fuddrucker. That's him. That's his nickname. Maybe I'll tell you all the story one day of how he got his nickname. It's a pretty cool one. I think it's iconic to me anyhow. Yeah, alright. Alright, Mark. That's gonna be the end of the video. It's always you. You're always at the end. Yeah. But, you know, it's like they always say, you save the best for last, right? Alright, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.